Hi friends. For today's video, I just wanted to take a moment to give you my, sort of uncut first impressions on Paralives and give you my initial takeaways as someone who both has been following this game for a long time and as someone who would define herself as a gamer. You guys know me from life sims on this channel, but I do play a lot of, by the way, the mirrors in this game are just totally cursed, so I had to show that off in this video, but this footage is just going to be a typical couple of days in game, just showing off my save and kind of what I was doing, and this is all within the first, 6 hours of the game, so I've only played for about 6 hours, so keep that in mind as well. But yeah, I am someone who I've really been following this game really since it was, announced back in 2019. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it was that long ago. But also as someone who is a fan of just games in general. So I'm not, I'm not a newcomer when it comes to early access. I've played all kinds of different games. I've been a gamer my whole life. I've played many games in early access. Some of which, I followed all throughout development, like Hades 2, and really enjoy, and some of which I completely dropped during early access, which doesn't mean I won't pick them up again, it just means it probably wasn't the game for me at that point. So, initial first impressions, I think Paralives has a really strong start and foundation. Another kind of full disclosure is I was a patron, so I was a patron for a little over a year and a half for this game. And of course now with early access, the Patreon has dissolved because early access is kind of meant to take over in the development of the game and things like that. Financially, I should say. But anyway, so I've really been looking forward to this game, and I do truly believe it is a really strong start and foundation. I am looking forward to all the things the devs have, coming up for this game. I full-heartedly, is that even a word? I wholeheartedly believe in the devs, and I believe in this game and this team, and I can just tell, based off the, 6 hours I've played of it, that this is going to be a very special game, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to play it and develop, and watch it develop over time. That being said, there are some things that I just wanted to talk about and be realistically with all of you about. Just in case you are someone who's maybe, on the fence about buying the game. Maybe you've seen some videos, you think it looks fun, you just aren't sure if you want to, invest the $40 or $35 USD on sale right now into the game. So first I want to talk about the good. I will say if you're purely a builder or decorator, like if you're a life sim enjoyer, but you don't really mind actually playing in live mode or live mode, and you kind of want to just be able to fully, create and build, and that's how you, if you put 200 hours into The Sims 4 alone based off building, 100%, I would say you could buy this game now and be fully satisfied. It's just going to get better. The build mode seems to be one of the most fleshed out parts of this game. There are a few weird things with staircases and curved walls, can't have doors on them and stuff like that yet, but that's only going to get better with time. And as it is now, the build mode is really intuitive, even for someone like me, who really doesn't build very well in games and, kind of doesn't really enjoy it most of the time. I've started building my first house in this. Still in the process again. I've only put 6 hours into this game, but even for my dumbass, it was super intuitive. It felt really good. There were some things that were a little frustrating, mostly just because I don't build all the time though. But once I got past those kind of hurdles, I found it really fun and I've enjoyed my time, especially shells in this. I'm really looking forward to people's, uploading shells to the Steam Workshop. for others to be able to download and decorate themselves. The decorating in this game is, I mean, you can see it based on this cafe right here. So this is like one of the main cafes in the town. All of this is made by the devs, and like it is fully decked out. Clutter is fantastic. There's so many different options, and you can, here's a phone floating in the air. Again, it's early access, so these things are to be expected, but I'm just showing you what a gameplay, day looks like. Just unedited raw footage here, but oh, and then my sim, yeah, did get stuck, and then it put me at home. By the way, that person outside my house is a firefighter who, I wish I got the footage of this, but I called her. She literally never fought the fire, and then my house like burnt down. That's why when we go back to my apartment, you'll see there's a lot of stuff that's like still burnt, and it's because if you look at the top right, I have 83 Paradollars or whatever they're called. But anyway, so I can't replace it yet, which is fine. Anyway, so like even this room, you can see how fully like decorated and how amazing everything is, and it all works. Like you can put clutter on the couch and you can still sit on it. Like it's amazing. So yes, if you're a builder, 100%, I think this game at $40 is worth your money, especially knowing all the, upgrades we're going to get, and it's just going to get better. Like, yes, I would say buy it right now. No hesitation. The Paramaker is another really great and intuitive tool that I've had a lot of fun with. Kind of a spoiler, and I guess, please give me your ideas in the comments if this is something you would enjoy or not enjoy seeing, but I very much, I'm a storyteller first and foremost. I'm a live mode player through and through. So stories and developing characters, those are all really important to me, especially in life sims, which you'll see from my Black Widow challenge and previously my 100 Baby Apocalypse, which I'm hoping to return to someday. On this channel, that is. But, so for Paralives, I kind of I'm more interested in right now in like testing the game out, because we'll kind of get into the gameplay in the later half of this video. But I really want to test the genetics of this game. So I'm kind of thinking we go way back and we go to like early 2012 together. And I want to do a Breed Out the Weird challenge in Paralives. I think that would be really fun. I have made some cursed paras, and you're able to with the sliders. Unfortunately, I didn't get footage of the Paramaker, so I might put some here of just the dev footage for now. But there's so much you can do with all the sliders and the skin tone customization and everything. I mean, it's beyond The Sims 4's wildest dreams. I also really enjoy how in the Paramaker, like, gender isn't locked to a specific body type or shape. So you can make a non-binary para, or even a para, who might identify as female, and you can adjust their chest, or you can adjust their genitalia and things like that. Can I say genitalia on YouTube? I don't know. Hi, I have 50 subscribers. But anyway, you can adjust all those things based off your para's, unique gender identification. And I think it's really cool that people can make something, or make a character that feels actually authentic to their true in real life self by having those options. They also have great options for like hijabs and just things in the base game. Again, this is still early access, so things are going to continue to be added. They've already mentioned how they're going to, every update after early access is going to be free DLC. Any sort of, additions they make are going to be totally free. So to have those types of customization, there's like 19, I think, Afro hairstyles in the game, just stuff like that, I think is really amazing. And it just shows you how far the genre has come and how far it's going to continue to evolve. I had a lot of fun making my para, which you'll see. I think I do yoga a few times in this, so I'm sorry. But again, we'll get into gameplay a bit later. But yeah, the Paramaker is definitely very cool. I can definitely see it becoming a little more fleshed out in the future, but for how it is now at early access launch, I think it's a really, really good, and definitely loads, more intuitive and allows me to do things that I cannot do in other games. So I really like that. Let's move on to gameplay now. So for what I like as far as gameplay goes, I really actually do enjoy the personalities and how they kind of line things up here. I like how it's not all tied to traits. I like the vibe system. I want to learn a bit more about that. If you don't know what the vibe system is, basically every para has a different vibe associated with them. So like my para's vibe is gloomy, so she gets perks and bonuses for being sad, which I thought was really cool. The only other thing with the vibe system is I'm wondering how it will evolve and get bigger. Same with all these other, I don't know, trait isn't the right word, but like the personality system here, I think has a lot of potential, but I'm curious to see how it will grow and change. Because right now you can only pick 3 like things. You can have a vibe, you can have a like something your para wants to focus on. So like my para's focus is food. And all of these things you can like evolve and get points and put points into them and get different perks and things. And I'm super blanking on what the third one is for some reason, but there's only 3. So I'm curious how that's going to work and if it's how the level up perks will work and things like that. I'm curious about it. I'm not saying it's, neither good nor bad at this point in time, but it's definitely something I have my eye on, if you know what I mean. Another thing about gameplay that I do really like is the storyteller. So whenever you start a new game of Paralives, and I think even throughout the game, you can adjust your storyteller, which is basically just a scenario editor. So, games all have like RNG and certain events that can trigger, but the storyteller, if I'm understanding it correctly, basically guides your gameplay a bit, and they determine how and when things play out. If any of you have ever played RimWorld, I think it's meant to be a system like that. Again, where your storyteller really dictates, kind of the actions that are happening in the world to your characters. There's 3 different settings. You can pick a more chaotic one. You can pick a more normal, neutral one. And then there's Stella the dog, who is like easy mode, essentially. I haven't seen, and I don't know if it's really a thing yet, and if it is happening behind the scenes, I don't know. But I'm curious to see how the storyteller will actually affect like my gameplay on the backside. Like, can it start a random fire? And would I even have any way of knowing that was because of my storyteller? I'm thinking, again, back to RimWorld, if you've ever played that, like when you get raided in that game, it's because of the storyteller you chose is choosing, basically to have 100 rabbits attack your colony. I don't know if that is truly how it's working here yet, or if that's the goal for in the future. I do really hope it is the goal in the future, if it's not already happening, because I find that to be super fun and interesting. Although I do know people who play life sims want a bit more control. So that's where, the customization of the storytellers and things could definitely come in handy. Now I have 2 firefighters outside my house, in case you can see that. Both who didn't help me with this fire. But yeah, another thing the storyteller does is every night in this game, I was kind of waiting, hoping that she would go to sleep soon so I could talk about it. Here we go. So you'll see here, I'm picking another story card. So these are tied to my storyteller in the bottom right. And you get a few different options, and they basically just, they either give you goals to follow, which you can see some goals in the bottom right-hand corner, stepping into romance. Those are all the goals I picked based on my storyteller's kind of card one night. So unlike aspirations, these goals are kind of tied to your para's lives. So that's kind of how the aspiration system works here. Instead of having, my cat is freaking out, but instead of having, one overall lifetime aspiration, a para will have multiple different goals that they're trying to complete at once, sort of like wants. There's a want system as well. Above my hunger bar, you will see, after I save here, above my hunger bar, those are kind of her wants, and those actually reset every 24 hours. So actually when I go to bed, if I didn't complete one of those wants, they will go away. Is kind of how those work. As far as like points and things, the wants just kind of go into your personality and like vibe points, I think is how it works, at least based off what I've seen after 6 hours of gameplay. So there's no like rewards store or anything like that yet, which totally fine, because based off the powers I've seen so far, they do seem like it might be a bit overpowered later on. Again, I'm only 6 hours in, so I don't know that for sure, but like I've kind of mentioned, I'm definitely curious about how this will evolve over time, the system. Another thing with gameplay I want to mention is your job. So right now, my para works a part-time job, so she only works 3 days a week, and after every single shift, she got like an upgrade to her job. And there's 3 different options to choose from. For mine, every single time, I just gave her an extra 10 paradigms. So again, just something I have my eye on. These are townie requests, which are kind of fun. So you can grab these every day from either the bulletin board, like I just did, or you can see paras around town with an exclamation point. And again, these are just more goals that you can do, and they give you certain perks and things. So that's been fun to kind of dive into. I understand why it's here, and I get the appeal. I don't know if it's something I'm super loving right now about gameplay. I kind of like to sort of just let the story unfold whenever I play a life sim. But I don't know. I like how they have you explore the town and kind of get your para out. So again, just something I'm kind of feeling out at the moment. I wouldn't say my opinion is negative or positive at the moment regarding those. What else did I want to mention? Oh yeah, so the jobs, again, maybe a little basic and overpowered, but we'll see. So right now I'm at the gym. So this game is open world, so very much like The Sims 3, if you ever played that. Once you load in, you're just loaded in. There's no loading screen, if you want to travel somewhere and things like that. The only time there is a loading screen is, like you just saw, when your para goes to a different lot that's not loaded in. As they kind of walk there, there is a brief moment where it has to load in that lot, just because of, you can see how much they're decorated and all the things in them. It would be a lot on the game to have these open literally all the time if your para is not there. So that's why, for my PC, I have a really good PC, maybe took at most 30 seconds to load a lot in, but of course your mileage may vary there. The town itself is fun to play in. Paras, don't just show up randomly when you show up, and it's kind of weird. It seems like paras are kind of just living out their daily lives, and you can interact and meet them on the town in the streets, and they're just going about their life. You're going about yours. It's not like a weird, oh, everyone's coming to the lot now because you're here thing, like in other games that I'm not going to mention. But yeah, the town feels alive, which is something I've really missed in my life sim games. I loved in The Sims 3 how I could just go to a lot and other people were already at the lot. It wasn't because I was showing up, that people started to arrive. So another thing here that you're seeing is the kind of like conversation gameplay. So how this, or the together bar, I think is what it's called. So basically anytime you enter into a conversation with someone, you see that bar next to my para's icon is going up in green. That is their together bar filling up. And after every 20 in-game minutes, you can select a certain option for these bars. Some options, like flirting, only have a specific chance to work based off your relationship with the other person and timing and things like that and how much you know about them. It's an intriguing system. I'm curious how this will evolve as we get more, further in the development as well. But for now, I think it's fun. I know some people find it annoying because you can't like introduce yourself technically until you wait the 20 in-game minutes. But I don't know, with some other conversational styles where you have to click and click and click through multiple options, I find it to be a breath of fresh air, but again, we'll just kind of see how it develops. Here's the beach. I tried to talk to someone and then I guess I ran away. Oh, I have to go to work. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, so as far as gameplay goes, I will say I do understand why the devs pushed this out 6 months. And even with the delayed release of early access, I am and this is my opinion, okay? We're all allowed to have it, but I am finding it not difficult to continue because I am having fun playing, but I'm finding it a bit like, okay, did that, got it. Okay, I have to go to my job, did that. Oh, I already got promoted. Okay, whatever. Then I go home. Okay, now I'm home. Like, there is kind of not a lot to do right now outside of, like, meeting paras and going on the town. There's, like, a music skill. There's, like, piano, triangle. I can't remember if there's guitar. There's a painting skill right now. But there is a big lack of, like, actual skills in the game and things to do gameplay-wise and, like, make your paras super unique and different. Like, it does kind of feel right now like it's like you go to work, you get married, you can do that, and that's kind of the game. Like, there's not really a ton of hobbies. And again, this is to be expected. And I'm not expecting to get hundreds and hundreds of hours out of early access right now by any means, but especially on top of, the other sort of bugs I've encountered, just like with my fire and things like that, it's just something to note, something to keep in mind is that if you're someone who is kind of on the fence about the game, I really, to be honest with you, like at this point, if you're not a builder and you really are just more gameplay focused and you're already on the fence, I think it's okay to hold off for now. Like, in a few months' time when they start releasing more updates, and, as things start getting more incorporated into the game, like, I think they have a holiday update kind of planned. We don't know what it is yet. But depending on what that is, at that point, I would say, yeah, why not check it out, especially if you're already on the fence. But, like, right now, while I can recommend the game for what it is, like, yes, you're supporting the devs, you're getting this game, for a more discounted price than it will be upon full release, which isn't until 2 years, to be fair. I just think if you're okay waiting, I think it's fine to wait. Like, I really don't, unless your heart is super, super set on, like, I really want to buy this game right now, I really think it's okay to wait. Just based off of, again, my first initial 6 hours of gameplay, I am enjoying it, but there are some things about it that I know will only improve with time, but they are, like, noticeable enough that if you're someone who doesn't have the money to support this, or, maybe you're torn between this and a different game, it's okay to buy the other game right now. Like, truly, at this point, like, it is kind of one of those games that there just isn't a ton keeping me interested at the moment. Like, if I didn't have this channel, for example, I could see myself maybe playing another, I would say between, like, 10 to 20 hours. I could maybe get, a good 40-ish hours out of this game as it is right now and be okay with it. But I'm already kind of starting to feel a bit, not drained from it, but just, I'm feeling the lack of skills and content and hobbies and things I want my para to be able to do that she just can't quite do yet. Like, she can barely even lay on the beach and have a good time. There's not a lot of activities for paras to do together. Like, they're sitting here and just kind of staring, which is fine. But I wish there was, like, maybe a card game or even chess or something. I think actually there is a card game they can play. We just don't have it here. But, like, even when you want to go to a different lot and invite a para out, like, you can't do that unless you install a mod that I think is on the Steam Workshop, to be fair. But there's just kind of a lot missing from the game. I don't even think can call a para just to, like, chat with them, for instance. So if you want to find a para to talk, you kind of have to know where they live or invite them over to your home lot specifically, and then you just sit here in awkward silence staring at the table. So there's that. Whenever I try and look into a para, I can't also seem to find, like, their occupation or anything. Because of those together cards, it is kind of limiting. Like, I can't just ask him about his career. I have to wait for the option to come up, and the option never comes up because for some reason my para always wants to say the conversation's boring or complain about a household family member, which she doesn't have any, so I don't know who she's complaining about. But yeah, it's hard to get to know them through just a few conversations because of that together card system. So again, these are all just my initial, kind of takeaways. But I am really liking the game. I would say, if you want a definitive answer, again, I'm going to go back to what I said before. If you're a build person, buy this game. Like, 100%, you are going to have fun in build mode with this game for sure. But if you're like me and you're more gameplay focused and you're okay or already on the fence about buying it in its current state, I say hold off until, that December update. See what else they start releasing, and then reconsider around that time. I think that is a perfectly okay decision to make right now as the game currently stands. But that's kind of it. Those are my initial first thoughts. Thank you all so much for listening to me gab about this. And I'm here for the journey no matter what. Like, I will be here, but I just wanted to kind of talk about the game for a bit and sort of solidify, what my opinion was after those first 6 hours. And then hopefully after 200 hours, I can come back and kind of do a retrospective, how things have changed and where I was wrong in this opinion or where I was right. So thanks again so much for watching. Comment down below if you made it this far. Let me know, are you buying Paralives? Have you already bought Paralives? Or are you kind of on the fence and gonna wait to get it? I hope you're having a great day or night whenever you are watching this, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.